I would just like to point out before this video even starts that if you hear a beeping sound in the background, that's my fire alarm. Haven't changed the batteries. There it goes. And I don't have batteries, so you just have to bear with it. Loving yourself can be pretty hard at times, especially in situations like a breakup, a rejection, or even when a jerk says something bad about you. What's even harder though is when you start agreeing with that jerk and you just think that you're not good enough. And having these insecurities is probably one of the worst things to feel because you're pretty much in a battle against yourself and you constantly compare yourself to what others say or think is perfect. And you wonder why you can't be more like that or even better. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very insecure about a lot of things and I struggle with trying to overcome this, but it's just hard sometimes, and there's just always the thought of thinking that there's always going to be someone better than you, and it's just sometimes I take that negatively, but in reality, you just really have to love yourself because you're special and nobody else is like you. I used to live in the Philippines before I moved to California 4 years ago, and I used to go to an all-girls private Catholic school. Man, that is a mouthful. I don't know why, but I feel like girls are always competing against each other, like who has the best clothes, has the perfect hair, nails, skin, anything you can imagine. And I even remember there was a debate over who can speak the best English at my old school. Like, it's crazy. But I remember when I was in elementary school, I used to lie a lot just to avoid these vicious gossips and just to try to fit in. There was even one time I remember I was bragging about the new clothes that my aunt from Washington bought me from Limited 2 or Justice now. And I used to say that, yeah, these clothes are super expensive and that only the stars in the States buy them because they're so high class. And I remember they would believe me. I mean, you know, these little second graders just like, you know, believing whatever another second grader would tell them, like they don't know any better. And plus there wasn't really a Limited 2 in the Philippines, so it was pretty easy to let that slide. But yeah, from things that I'd say like that, I started to gain more friends and I started to become popular, and honestly at that time I liked the attention and I felt good about myself, but in the wrong ways. And it wasn't until high school when I realized that none of that really mattered and that what these people say about me doesn't matter, but somehow I just let it get to me still. I won't really talk about the whole high school experience I've had so far because if I did, that would take me days. High school is pretty tough. But I like to focus on my freshman year where I felt the most secluded and the most insecure. I mean, I wasn't really secluded in that way. For a while I was pretty much the talk of the town, but not for the best reasons. You know, I made stupid mistakes and I was so stubborn that I never listened to my friends and I never really looked at it like that. Like, I always just thought that whatever I was doing was okay, that it was making me happy, so I mean, you know, whatever. And I did a lot of things that I regret, and I tried to be someone that I knew I didn't want to be. And a lot of people, because of that, lost respect for me and even my friends, and all I had was this guy I used to date who I thought my whole world revolved around. I hated myself for not being good enough for him, for not being good enough for my friends, for them to accept me for my mistakes. I just lost respect for myself and I didn't even know it. If I could go back to my freshman year, I would definitely make things better, but you know, I can't change what's already happened, and it was my fault. I know I take full responsibility for everything that I did, and I let that happen anyway, and I only let myself feel insecure because I believed I was. From that experience, I've learned how to stand up for myself and be more confident and just know that everybody makes mistakes, and at the end of the day, nobody's perfect, and you know, if you don't love yourself, yeah, your family and your friends are there, but so many situations can just, wipe them all away from you. And at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. People will walk out on you, talk about you behind your back. And if you don't love yourself, nobody else will. And the more you're just gonna hate yourself and think that you're not worth it, and that could lead to many bad things. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. You just have to accept that and love yourself.